What's really strange? Many people don't even know that the biggest change in their lives is happening right in front of their eyes when it comes to money. Think about being in the early days of the internet. You know what's going to happen, but 99% of people still laugh at you. In that exact moment, we are with crypto. How about the craziest part? The biggest projects that are driven by energy needs are right on the runway. They are waiting for the tower to give them the go-ahead to take off with their engines running at full speed. As soon as rules are put in place, the floodgates open. And if you're not set up already, you'll miss everything. This is not advice about money. This really amazes me. Why isn't XRP pumping? That's what everyone keeps asking. Why aren't there any of those crazy, scary protests like there were in 2020 and 2021? Easy. It's not even alt season yet. The warm-up lap is still going on. And these utility projects like XRP, XDC, and XLM are held hostage until the rules are clear. How much are they now? Completely made up. I did say it. Everything is moving to the beat of Bitcoin right now. The rest of the altcoin market is almost like a chain that ties Bitcoin to itself. But that's going to change in a big way soon. Let me just drop this for you before we go any further, because you need the right tools if you want to turn these next rounds into wealth that changes your life. The Ultimate Millionaire Investor Guide is something I put together. Look for 100 times stocks. It's not just a PDF. Inside this thing are files, pictures, movies, and a lot more. There are lots of techniques, breakdowns, and insights in it that will help you find those rare 100 times chances before anyone else. You should print this out, read it, and keep it with you whenever you look at the markets. It's in the message that's been pinned below this video. Get it while you still can. Also, don't sleep on this while you're there. If you use my Robinhood link, you can also get free NVDA stocks worth up to $200 with just a $1 payment. It's clear as day. The one that was pinned has both links in it. Look it over. Let's go back to the real game. Take a look. Bitcoin's best times are over. It's true that profits are going down. It gets harder to multiply Bitcoin as it goes up in value. While that was going on, utility-based projects like XRP, it's still way too cheap to buy them. And as soon as rules are put in place, growth will begin that will leave Bitcoin in the dust. This is why. Scalability, effectiveness, and real-world examples of use. When it comes to speed, cost, and energy economy, XRP is much better than Bitcoin. These are things that can't be changed. And as soon as rules make it possible, groups like governments, Fortune 500 companies, and Wall Street banks will jump in. They're not doing it on the network for Bitcoin either. They want to find lines that can move trillions of dollars every day without any problems. That's where XRP and other utility projects like it rule. There are already signs. The SEC? Yes. For 4 years, the SEC dragged Ripple through the mud. Now they've quietly changed their minds. They've set up a task group just for crypto. What is their job? To finally explain how federal securities laws apply to crypto and to suggest real policies that protect investors and support new ideas. That's really big. That's not all. When they started Project Crypto, they were very focused on making tokens and stablecoins. That's the link between crypto and the rest of the US banking system. The best part is yet to come. Commissioner Hester Pierce is leading a tour across the country to meet with smaller crypto groups and find out what they need from regulators. Just think about how hopeful that is. For the first time, authorities aren't just stepping in. They are working on projects right now to figure out how to make a system that works. That's the spark that projects need for a long time. It's not just the SEC either. Some shocking new information about the Clarity Act was just shared by the National Cryptocurrency Association. 73% of Americans want crypto to have better security for consumers. 71% say we need complete laws to fill in all the gaps right away, and 69% want the United States to be the leader in digital money technology. Do you get what that means? The people are screaming for things to be clear. We're no longer on the edge of this. A lot of people want it. How did this all begin? Ripple's court case. That's when things went wrong. All of a sudden, everyone understood that there were no rules for crypto at all. After that, there were 4 years of doubt, chaos, and delay. But now, the Clarity Act is almost here. When it does, trillions of dollars will rush into this market. Not a billion, huge amounts. This is how I'd say it. The U.S. Treasury just put out a public call for views on the Genius Act, a plan from the Trump administration that aims to better oversee and control digital assets. They want to stop shady activities and set up a legal way for people to adopt. And the date for public opinions has already been set. For sure, they want to get this done quickly if you see that. On top of that, the Treasury also started the Guiding and Establishing National Innovation for U.S. Stablecoins Act. Stablecoins are what hold the market together. It is a clear sign if the U.S. moves to publicly regulate and include them. Crypto is becoming more popular. Now think about this. A movie that Coinbase put out recently went viral. In it, experts said that once the Clarity Act becomes law, trillions of dollars could flood into crypto. People from the Fortune 500, big investors, and pension funds have all been waiting for one thing: clarity and regulations. As soon as that green light flashes, they jump right in. You know what that means for XRP, XDC, XLM, and the other blockchains that are used for useful things. Their webs are already set up, the lines are set up, the paths for liquidity are open. The only thing they need now is money to start coming in. It won't stop once it starts. I'm making this point very clear for a reason. We are on the verge of a market that is driven by usefulness. The days of hype are ending. The next step is full acceptance, real-world use cases, and value based on how useful the network really is. That's where the big money is going, which is why XRP is about to go through the roof. Don't forget that Ripple already told us how this will end. They made a plan back in April. Tokenization on a large scale comes after regulation, then acceptance by institutions, and finally regulation. That's the plan. That is the plan. It's happening right now, in real time. Take a look at the size. Putting world assets on a token. Putting money into tokens. Putting trillions of dollars worth of bonds, stocks, and real estate on a blockchain. Whole shops are alive and well on-chain. This isn't a science fiction story. The event is happening now. But the real speeding up doesn't happen until the rules say it's okay to use the runway. And that's when XRP will finally show what it's really worth. No, Ethereum isn't going to flip Bitcoin at that point. Utility projects are going to flip everything. Since Bitcoin isn't really running the tokenized market, let's be honest. Ethereum is too big for it to handle. They can only do that if they are built for speed, effectiveness, and trust between institutions. That's why now is the time for XRP. Picture this for me. Global institutions, Fortune 500 companies, central banks, and other big players in the world are currently standing at the edge of the pool and dipping their toes in. They are waiting for the lifeguard to blow the whistle. In this case, rules are the lifeguard. As soon as the rules are made public, there is no more hesitation. The dive can begin. A lot of money can flow into this area, not just billions, trillions of dollars are moving around like a tide. That's why these projects for utilities feel like they can sleep today. It's not that they aren't being used. The building blocks are already in place. RippleNet is real. On-demand funding is available. XRP is already being used quietly in the background to make payments across borders. Clarity is the only thing that's missing. Second, the government says, yes, this is how it works. Here's how you follow through. This is what the law says. The whole system moves faster toward full acceptance. The beautiful part comes next. These useful coins will last longer than the hype-driven coins of the last bull run. The excitement over meme coins and rumors dies down, but projects that work in the real world keep going up. That's why you need to know what XRP is. Not just a coin that goes up and down with the market. It is an asset that will help build a new global banking system. Take a look at this. The way money works now is out of date. It's hard to use, slow, expensive, and often just plain broken. It can take days for lines to cross borders. Fees can be very high. Settlement takes too long. On the other hand, XRP allows for almost instant settlement, transactions that cost a few cents, and the quick movement of any currency or object across borders. That's the service that wins when the government steps in. Also, don't forget that Ripple has already set up some huge relationships. The system has been tested and used by banks, payment providers, and money transfer services for years. But there's a catch. Most of these deals are still small because the government hasn't given the go-ahead. As soon as things become clear, all of those relationships can go full speed ahead right away. That's why I keep saying that we're in a weird fake market right now. Prices do not show what is true. There is doubt that hides the real value. That doesn't last forever, though. Making rules is like putting the key in the ignition. This market comes to life when it turns. Let's get a bigger picture. The story is the same everywhere in the world. Europe is putting in place MyCA rules to make crypto's rules clear. In Asia, blockchain is being used quickly for payments and tokenization. There are more and more digital goods being stored in the Middle East. And the US, which is the world's banking hub, is under a lot of pressure to catch up. That is why it is so important to pass bills like the Stablecoin Act and the Clarity Act. They're not just about the US, they're about being a leader in the world. The US will lose the top spot if it takes too long to act, but if the US moves quickly, it will be the leader in the digital economy for many years to come. This is the main reason for the recent busy times at the SEC, Treasury, and Congress. They are aware that time is running out. They are well aware of how important it is. The next thing that happens is this. After the laws are passed, institutions that were waiting for a chance to join rush in. Tokenizing assets is something that banks will do on XRP Ledger. There will be whole businesses that move their settlements to blockchain. Everywhere you look, liquidity routes will light up, and XRP will connect them. That's not just a guess. That's what makes sense, given everything that's being built right now. Still, some people question why the price hasn't changed yet if everything is so clear. It's easy to say. The price of something doesn't change until a lot of companies buy it. Retail hype can briefly boost the value of a coin, but long-term growth comes from institutions adopting it. We are still in the stage where most of the market is just guesswork right now. Every day, the stories change. The real money hasn't come in yet, though. Once it does, value and cost will finally match up. Now comes the fun part. It won't happen slowly when that connection takes place. It's going to go off because cash leads to more cash. When banks and other institutions start using XRP for deals, the number of them goes through the roof. When traffic goes up, liquidity goes down. As a bridge currency, XRP works better when it has more deep liquidity, and that effectiveness makes even more people want to use it. There is a positive feedback loop going on here that makes things go faster and faster. This is why I think XRP will get out from under Bitcoin's shade. Alternate coins go up and down with Bitcoin these days, but when utility starts, XRP will be able to move on its own. It won't need the buzz around Bitcoin to get going. It'll have its own engine that is driven by demand in the real world. The story will change at that point. Instead of Bitcoin being the market leader, XRP and other big utility coins will be in the lead, with Bitcoin following behind. For a moment, let's talk about tokenization. This is the real killer use case that most people outside of the company don't understand yet. On blockchain, there are assets worth trillions of dollars, such as stocks, loans, real estate, and commodities. Imagine being able to buy small pieces of land, settle bond trades quickly, or move stocks across borders with no problems. It's not 5 years away. That's coming up faster than anyone thought. They need to be fast, scalable, and cheap in order to handle all of this. Ethereum isn't big enough to handle it. Bitcoin was never meant to work that way. There are now only a few networks that are really ready. That list starts with XRP at the top. Also, keep in mind that Ripple has worked freely with banks and regulators for more than 10 years. They have set up XRP not as a speculative coin, but as an asset suitable for institutions and made for these uses only. That's why so many of the biggest banks in the world have tried it in secret. That's why Ripple has been working behind the scenes to set up pathways and relationships. They knew this day would come. They knew that rules would finally make the doors open. And now for the thing that really gets me excited. The foreign exchange market, FX, is the biggest market in the world. Once tokenization and stablecoins are fully combined, the whole market can run on blockchain. There are trillions of dollars worth of trades on this market every single day. The value of XRP must go through the roof if it becomes the bridge for even a small part of that. It's just math. We're no longer just talking about cash. It means that the whole banking system is being rebuilt on digital tracks, and networks that can handle speed, efficiency, and scale will be the ones that win. Bitcoin is not that kind of thing. Ethereum is not that kind of thing. XRP does. That's why I think one of the biggest exchanges of wealth in history is about to happen, and now I'll leave you with this before we go on. People have taught us to see cryptocurrency as a gambling hall. If you buy low and the price goes up, you should sell high. What's coming next, though, is very different. It's about usefulness, wide use, and worth in the real world. It's about projects that fix problems worth $1 trillion. That's the new way of thinking. The best part is that XRP is right in the middle of it all. Here's the really scary part. Many people still believe that the big money in crypto is just from people speculating. Putting a few $100s into coins isn't going to bring in a huge amount of money, though. It's because big businesses are putting trillions of dollars into stable coins, tokenized assets, and payment systems. This is why I keep saying that the next step is different from everything we've seen before. Take a look at how the financial markets work now. There are more than $100 trillion in bonds alone. World real estate is worth about $300 trillion. Interest rates? Many more hundreds of trillions. All of that is stored in old, inefficient systems called legacy. When those markets are tokenized, they are put on the blockchain where transactions can settle quickly and openly. In that case, networks based on services like XRP really shine. They're not trying to change the way money works. It is being brought into the modern age. What's interesting is this. Ripple already has a plan for how this change will happen. They said rules would be the first step. The next step is institutional acceptance. The next step is full-scale tokenization. And once there are enough tokens, it's game over. Huge amounts of money are moving through the chain, and XRP is the asset that connects it all. Since everything is still quiet right now, it's easy to forget how big this is. But things are already getting ready behind the scenes. Pilots for tokenization are being tested by banks. Governments are looking into digital currencies issued by central banks. Stablecoin payments are being tried out by businesses. It's being built. And XRP is one of the main rails it will use. This is why I'm so sure of the way things are going. It's not just an idea. It's happening right now. Laws are being written by states. The government is working directly with projects. There are businesses that tokenize assets in secure settings. All of this points to one fact that can't be avoided. When things become clear, they move faster. Another thing that many people forget is this: corridors of liquidity. Ripple has been building corridors in important world markets in the background for many years. Using XRP as a bridge, these passageways make it easy for money to move between different currencies. Volumes look small right now compared to markets around the world, but the building blocks are in place. Once rules let scale happen, those corridors will be able to handle billions of dollars every day and finally trillions. When that happens, XRP stops being just another altcoin and starts being an important part of the banking system. And when that happens, value follows need. No longer is it about rumors, jokes, or hype. It has to do with the strong need for an asset that keeps the world's money moving. Now, some people are still not sure. They say that tokenization might happen someday, but it will take decades. But here's the thing, the rate of new ideas is picking up. Just look at how quickly AI became something everyone used. It was niche a year ago. It's now everywhere. Once the go-ahead is given, the same thing will happen with tokenization. Not technology, but truth is what institutions have been waiting for. The tech is already out there. As soon as they get the all clear, they'll put it into wide use. That's when XRP really shines. Because unlike most other networks, XRP has been put through a lot of stress for years. It's not an experiment. It has been proven. Since 2012, it's been moving real money across countries. That's a history of more than 10 years. Stability is what institutions love. They love tried and true methods. That's why XRP is set up to be their main bridge. Let's not forget about stablecoins either. There is still some confusion about stablecoins, even though they are very important to the crypto market right now. As soon as there are clear laws about stablecoins, they will be fully integrated into the US and world financial systems. When stablecoins are used in transactions, there is a need for fast settlement lines. That's where XRP comes in again, figuring out how cash, stablecoins, and tokenized assets all fit together. Let's talk about how the market thinks and feels. Small buyers are still looking for hype. They're hooked on meme coins and want to find the next overnight hit. But smart money doesn't follow the hype. It is watching the rules. It's keeping an eye on institutional acceptance. This is the machinery that is being built, because that's where the huge wins that last come from. Once the price starts going up, people in stores will also buy, making the move stronger. That's how things are set up now. It's not noisy. It seems like nothing is going on. On the surface, though, everything is set up for the biggest wave of acceptance we've ever seen. You won't be able to get in at the ground floor when it breaks. That's why I keep telling you how important it is to pay attention. Think about this. When rules are lifted, news stories will be everywhere. Many businesses are getting into crypto. Banks start up systems for tokenized assets. Blockchain payments are used by Fortune 500 companies. That's when most people finally wake up, but the early planning is already done by that time. The real gains have already begun, and now for the truth. XRP was made for this very moment, not for the old stages of hype, for pumps and dumps that are just for fun. It's made to move money. It's made to fit. It was made to be the link between worlds where things are tokenized. That's why I don't think it will just ride the next bull run. It will lead it. So the question isn't whether XRP could be useful. It's up to you to see it before everyone else, because the race starts as soon as things become clear. There will be no turning back once trillions of dollars start moving on-chain. Before I end, there are two quick things you shouldn't miss. First, my complete guide to becoming a rich investor. Look for 100 times stocks. It comes with documents, pictures, videos, and strategies that will help you find huge chances before anyone else. It's in the comment below that has been pinned. Also, don't forget that if you use my Robinhood link, you can get free NVDA stocks worth up to $200 with just a $1 payment. Also in the comment that was pinned, there is no doubt about it. In the end, this is what happened. Rules are coming out faster than anyone thought. And when they land, the whole crypto market changes. Things become useful. Adoption speeds up.